Today, we're going to talk about fairy tales.
We all have a satisfaction associated with doing something that somebody finds useful.
When I was growing up, I heard all the same fairy tales you did, and maybe you never heard any, I don't know, but I had them all, Aesop's fables, and we had books of fairy tales about, knights and damsels and Rapunzel and wicked queens and that sort of thing. But those aren't the fairy tales we're going to talk about today. Today, the one we're going to talk about is the fairy tale about the most powerful day in the universe. The most, nothing compares to it. The most powerful day. You know what day that is? That day is someday. Someday is that most powerful day. So we're going to talk a bit about someday and a couple of other fables. All right, so what does someday mean? Someday, some people say, well, one day, so one day or someday, that is simply a catchphrase that we have, or a word that means not today, not now. I can't do that now. It won't happen now. Anything but now. So why do we believe so strongly in someday? Well, there's a bunch of reasons. And changing that dialogue in yourself is your transformation assignment. So where is it that you today live in the land of someday? Some simple ones. One day, someday I'll clean the garage. Someday I'm gonna paint that room. Someday I'm gonna mow the lawn, right? That was one that never worked very well for me because the lawn got too long and my wife was unhappy about how long that would get, right? So that someday didn't work out that well, but she was right. Someday I'm gonna make a lot of money, someday I'll be famous, someday. Well, the obvious problem with someday is that it never comes. You don't ever make that money. You don't ever find that true love and relationship. And you don't ever, create that business you want, or get the job you want, or make that trip you want. It just never comes. Someday never comes. The truth, and you and I, we know this truth. It's hard to admit sometimes, but the only day we have is today. Today is the only day, right? That's it. Today. And today is today. It isn't someday. Now, today happens to be Sunday, but Sunday and someday aren't the same thing. So where are you living in someday in your life? Where are you telling yourself that one day your ship will come in? Someday my prince will come, my ship will come in, I'll win the lottery, I'll get the promotion I deserve, I'll get the respect I deserve, and all of those kinds of things. That does two really damaging things. First of all, it creates the belief in you that you can't have it. Because you've said, really what you're saying is any day but today, someday, out there somewhere. So it creates a negative belief in you that that's not for you. You can't have that. Someday, what you're really meaning is somebody, somewhere else, anybody but me, anytime but now, and any day but today. That's awful. Anybody but me, anytime but now, and any day but today is what you're really saying, but we put the drug of someday on it to make it feel good for a minute. So are you living in the drug of someday? Do you OD on that? I'm leaving a pause there intentionally because I want you to think about it. So the other way that someday kills you, besides being a drug that makes you believe that you're not worthy of, not capable of, not allowed to have whatever success or big deal you're looking for, is it also puts off any movement and start that you could have towards it. So number one, mistake, problem, negative thing is that you create the belief and you reinforce that belief that that success is not for you. Not today, not you, not now. And that's a huge barrier. The second thing is you put off or don't start any actions that could move you there. So let me give you some examples. I run the results equation intensive workshops. And if you haven't seen what that is, you should go on over to www.resultsequationintensive.com. Resultsequationintensive.com. Now, what that's for is that's for people who want to achieve goals, who want to make their goals happen now. And the first thing we do is figure out exactly what you want and when. So do what by when is the way that we talk about that. And the reason is because someday, as we talked about, is a fable. It means never. And so by creating a date and a specific, precise description of that someday goal, we have given it a name, we have given it a size, and we have given it a date. Now, when something has a name, a size, and a date, it's way different than if it's just this imaginary thing out there that might happen sometime. So that's step one. What am I going to do? By when? Name, size, and date. Describe it precisely, all that sort of good stuff. The next piece is we got to move it from the realm of imagination to the realm of existence. So how do you do that? Well, my son owns a carpentry company, and he does a lot of mall stores. So the Gap and Sage, the store that sells those, what are those called? Evaporators or aerators with good smelling stuff. He does a lot of stores all over Alberta. And he's even done a few out in the fabled West Edmonton Mall, which used to be the biggest mall in the world many years ago, and now there's probably 10,000 bigger, but it's big enough to get lost in. Believe me, I've been lost out there. In order to get that done, his work, he just doesn't say, well, someday we'll have this repair finished, and I think we'll start one of these days. No, he's got a very specific date, he's got a budget, he's got a general contractor, site supervisor that's banging on him to make sure it happens because the store is going to open on this day. They have precise drawings about what the cabinets are going to look like, what wood they're going to be made out of, how big the door is and everything else. Now, one of the things he did is he had to put a door in one of these shops. And, you know, you and I walk in and out of those doors in malls all the time. We don't think about it. And doors are all kinds of different. Some are sliding, and some don't really have any doors, but they have gates that come down, and then they have, or glass behind that. This particular door was a glass door that was probably not quite an inch thick, and it had to be at least 7 feet, 6 to 7 feet wide, and probably 9 to 10 feet high. Well, the door itself weighed like way over 1,000 pounds. A piece of glass like that. So that's just one of the things they had to do, and I heard the blow-by-blow story about how many guys it took to lift it and everything else. But the point here isn't the story that he built, which was finished on time, which opened on time, and they set that door, which was madness. When he described it to me, and I hadn't ever, I pictured it, but I couldn't imagine it. When I went out there to West Ed, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, which was way after he'd finished, I happened to walk by the Sage store, and I walked in, and we buy essential oils and stuff from there to put in those smelly things you put around the house because they smell good. And I didn't even think about it. And I walked in, and then as I turned to go, I saw the door, and I thought, holy crap, that's a big door. And then I remembered the story about them setting that door. Now, your goals might seem like that door. They might seem enormous, too big. Oh, man, how do I do that? Well, someday never comes. And unless you get a plan, and unless you figure out when that day is, the date certain, the size of the door or the size of the goal, the date it will be installed, and when the opening date of your store is, or the accomplishment of your goal, using the store analogy, you won't get yours done either. So if you are tired of that, if you're tired of being one of those people who lies to themselves, or, always is living for someday, which never comes, but you keep drinking the drug of someday to make yourself not quite feel so bad. I'm trying, really, I am, right? Then you have to do something different. You can't do what you've been doing. There's no way. So set different goals. Pick dates, pick timelines, treat it like a construction project, get blueprints, create specific assignments. Who's doing what? How much will it cost? When will the parts be here? All of those kinds of things. Now, in the results equation, we have a name for that thing, and it's called a step map. A step map is something you produce in the courageous plan module of the results equation. And it's not complicated to imagine. It's difficult. It's sometimes difficult to do and even more difficult to stick to, but I can promise you're not going to get to your goal if you don't do that process. So your daily transformation today is stop wishing for someday. Stop believing that out there someday your prince will come, or your princess, or your cash cow, or the lottery, or the rainbow is going to land in your yard with a pot of gold, because it isn't going to happen. Instead, take control. Take your own life, your process, everything in your hands, and make it happen so that someday becomes now. You today. If you'd like me to help you with that, that's what I do. I help people turn those dreams into reality. Do the things they didn't think they could do. www.resultsequationintensive.com is where you can find out more. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching the videos. Take this opportunity, leave a comment, subscribe most of all, and don't forget to spread the word about this channel.